Welcome to the American Business Podcast. I'm Kevin Devecioglu, your host. I'm welcoming you to our episode 101. And today's number is 2.5 billion. That is the size of North American gun safe market in 2024. Speaking of gun safes and firearms, we have a great guest today, an expert in his field. And I like to invite our guests to our virtual stage, and I like to get the conversation started. Hello, Tom. Welcome to the podcast.
You know, I'm happy to be here, man. I'm excited. This is going to be a good conversation.
Thank you very much. Thanks for being with us on this Friday afternoon. I must say, actually evening almost. So thank you so much for being with us. I appreciate it. How is your week going so far, or how was your week?
So far, it's been a busy week. Black Friday is a big sales event for the company. We actually started Black Friday pricing at the very beginning of the month this year, because last year we waited till Black Friday and we got just buried in orders. So we're running the promo all month long just to give our warehouse a little bit of a break and kind of spread business out. And so far, we're busy.
This is great. Yes, you're right. The Friday, Black Friday is coming. Cyber Monday is coming. Oh, yeah. So these are exciting times for commerce. And we are absolutely looking forward to learning from you today and from your professional insights. Tom, if that's okay, as a start, would you please introduce yourself and your organization briefly to our audience and to our listeners?
Yes, my name is Tom Kubiniec, President and CEO of Securit Tactical. Securit's got two divisions. We're a defense contractor. In the military, we build weapon storage systems and armories. We do most of the U.S. Army Special Forces. We do all the SEAL teams. We do a lot of work with the Marine Corps. All branches of the military. And then we also have a consumer products group where we've taken our 20 years of military experience and made a line of lightweight, modular, fast access gun safes. And we market those across the country and in some foreign countries.
How did you get started? How is your career journey that you can share with us? I know it's very interesting. So all ears.
This can be a long conversation. I'll give you a very abbreviated run of it. Okay. I was in high school. I was obsessed with guitar. I played guitar 6-8 hours a day, and I graduated from high school and I played guitar in heavy metal bands. I graduated in 1980. In 1983, Guitar Player magazine, which was the magazine at that time, did an article on me as one of the best unknown guitar players in America. Phones started ringing. I moved to Hollywood to pursue a career. My goal was to be the next guitar player for Ozzy Osbourne or one of the big metal bands. And I developed tendonitis in my arms so bad that I had to stop playing. So I took a job telemarketing printer ribbons and typewriter ribbons because they would hire anybody. I had no skill set, and immersed myself into the world of sales and read every book, listened to every tape and cassette I could on sales, and became a proficient salesman. 2 years into that job, I quit and started my first company, a telemarketing organization, in my apartment. I built that up to about 20 sales reps. I sold to a partner and then started Greenline Data as a sole proprietor, telemarketing computer supplies. I got into the internet in the 90s, taught myself HTML and started creating websites. TapeRack.com became very popular, and we became one of the largest sellers of tape racks in the country. the HIPAA laws came out for locking up laptops in hospitals. When all those laws came out, we created securelaptopstorage.com, hospitallaptopstorage.com, about 15 different websites, all focused on the same thing. Back then, you could kind of spam search results by having lots of domains. We became a very large seller of laptop cabinets. In 2001, a gentleman called me and he said, "Can you store an MP5?" I'm like, "Sure." "What's an MP5?" And he said, "It's a small submachine gun." Now, I'd never owned a firearm in my life, and I said, "I'm sure we could." So, we talked for a while. He was with the FBI, and I said, "Let me do some research." So I started doing research and was coming across these references. And this was back before Google. It wasn't as easy as it is now. I think I was using Yahoo. That the U.S. military was struggling as they transitioned from the M16 traditional rifle to the M4. The M4 is more of a weapon system. It's modular. And I just got fascinated with this whole thing. And I called my Canadian manufacturer for my laptop cabinets. I said, "Hey, I got a crazy idea. What do you think about making weapon racks?" And he started laughing. He said, "Tom, I'm already working on a project for the Canadian government." So we shared notes, and he was my manufacturer, and we started selling weapon racks. We knew nothing about this. We knew nothing about defense contracting, and we just kind of stumbled forward into this and just, drank from the fire hose and learned. In 2008, we won a contract to survey all U.S. Army Special Forces armories and prepare a report for them as to why they were failing inspections. If we have time, I can get into the history of that, because there's some interesting business references in there. And it was during that time, I spent 18 months on the road in all their armories, interviewing them, spending a ton of time. Access a civilian never has. And that's when I designed and patented the Secure Tactical Weapon Storage Platform. It's something we simply call Cradle Grid technology now. And 2 years later, we were the primary supplier to the U.S. military. Flash forward about 5 years later, sequestration hit, which was the legislature of our government. Failure to pass a budget was forced military cutbacks. And we were decimated, almost went out of business. I was back down to a 3-person company. And that's when I decided to go into consumer products. We designed a line of modular fast access gun safes. And that was in end of 14 into 2015. And then we made Inc. Magazine's fastest growing companies in America in 2018 and 21. And we've been growing ever since. The consumer products is now about 83% to 85% of my business. So that's the big market. But we still, everything we do, we leverage on our military heritage, our military experience, because we're the only company that has 25 years of building armories. So
yes, speaking of military, this week also we had Veterans Day, and we also had a chance to invite one of the nonprofits working with and for nonprofits for veterans actually, and it's called they are called Pause or War. And we had a great conversation. It was on Wednesday, right after the Veterans Day. So that was a great conversation in terms of talking about how veterans are doing, how they can adapt to civilian market, and how they can actually. Yes.
We try to hire former military whenever we can. That's I didn't serve in the military. I was a musician back in the 80s. There wasn't a lot going on that way, but I still, the debt that we all owe to our military just can't be forgotten about. So we, secure it. We do, and I do as much as I can to support. And anything I can do is support the warfighters and make the soldiers better prepared, and then the guys who are out, whatever we can do.
Yeah, this is really exemplary. Well, when we look at your day-to-day work, what are the exciting and challenging parts of your work on daily basis?
It's interesting, but we went through our rocket growth, and we got pretty decent sized company. I decided to hire a marketing department, a CMO, and we built a big marketing department, and it just didn't work. So then I basically removed the marketing department, hired a marketing director. We spent a lot of money in advertising. It just didn't work. So about 8 months ago, I just took back over marketing. I said, guys, I'm the head of marketing now. I'm the guy that has the ideas for this, I've gotten good track record of success in the past. So I've got my number 2 in the company. We basically sat down and created a list of all the things that I shouldn't be doing, all the things that I don't like to do or that I'm not good at. And he's taken over all of that. So my day-to-day focus is on marketing for Secure, from branding, messaging to ad creation. I do everything from sometimes I'm behind a camera, sometimes I'm in front of a camera. It's all about content creation and then branding and messaging.
What is the state of firearm industry based on your personal experience and observation?
It's interesting. Right now, the industry is in a downturn, and it's only because, right now we have an administration in Washington that is pro Second Amendment, and there's no threats. Nobody feels there's a threat to the Second Amendment, so people are just living their lives, and gun sales are, they are what they are. When you get a president, you get an administration that is just very vocal about we're going after gun rights, all of a sudden people just start buying guns like crazy, figuring that maybe it's their last chance. So that drives our sales more. However, we're still we're a very small company in a pretty good sized market. And we have a unique, very innovative, very different technology and product that we offer. So we primarily market to the early adopter and the innovative buyer. And until we get to about 12% market penetration, that's where we're going to sit. So the market for us is huge. And these downturns, they affect, when gun sales are crazy, it's easier, but we still have a big market. We're still a small player in a pretty big pond.
How do you see AI and the impact of AI on business based on your professional observation?
I'm not real happy about it. I mean, honestly, it's I think we're toying with something that we don't understand. I use AI every day, and I'm getting to a point now with content creation. I mean, we had a lot of outside companies. You could spend anywhere from $3,000 to $18,000, $20,000 a month in content creation using outside sources and videographers and editing. And AI is going to replace all that, and we're doing it now. I have a unique challenge in that I'm in the firearms industry, so there's a lot of AI tools that when they hear the word gun as it relates to gun safes, I get flagged and they won't work for me. And I deal with that kind of censorship. That's in our industry. I think it's ridiculous. Our goal is to get every single gun in America properly locked and secured. If we are successful, there'd be thousands of cases of firearms deaths that would never occur. But that's the ocean that I'm swimming in. So I have to deal with it. But in some ways, it's fun. I spend a lot of time learning about AI. I'm doing an online course right now. But I have a daughter who's an animation major at SCAD. I don't think she has a future in doing animation. I don't see it. And we're I'm in a race right now. I want to get this company to, once I can get this company, there's a point where we become 13%, 14% market saturation. That's when the early majority and that's when the majority, your average buyers, will start looking at me. That's when we hockey stick and we take off. So it's, as I tell everybody, we're going to fight and claw to 40 million a year in sales. The market's going to chase us to 130. And we just got to get there. So I use AI all the time. It's interesting, but it really comes down to creativity. And I see a lot of people, I talk to a lot of people that get frustrated with AI because they don't know how to write a prompt. And you have to get very creative because all it's going to do is what you tell it to do or ask it to do.
Exactly, yes.
And we're used to dealing with humans that have a lot more insight. So the future may be in teaching kids how to write prompts. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure where the future goes with this, between AI and robotics. My plan when I retire is to live off the grid. I've got a 500-acre wilderness property. It's a hunting property. It's very remote, very mountainous, and very beautiful. And my plan is to retire and live up there and not do this anymore.
Well, my background and my full-time job is basically business software. So technology
Yeah.
is what I do, what we do as an organization, fundamentally. And the points that you mentioned about AI, where it's going to go, how to manage it, these are like ongoing conversation for us also in technology field, in business software. And to your point, just to support your point, we had a conversation with Kerr Consultant, Dave Kerr, and he's head of the company, and they are specialized in business software as well. And we had this conversation, and he said one thing for the next generation: get used to using AI, or someone else will take your place who knows how to use AI.
Absolutely.
So, to your point, like how to prompt it, how to utilize what it can actually offer, it is critical. So then it can bring the information that you are exactly asking. So nowadays, that is the challenge: how to prompt it.
It really is, and there's a mass of companies trying to market themselves as AI tools for graphics, for movies, for all this content, all this stuff we're trying to do. There's thousands of companies that want you to sign up with them and spend, $20, whatever the charge is per month to use their tool. Most of the AI tools are not very good. Most of the stuff that I deal with, I end up being disappointed because it's not, there's too much pre-built filtering into, there's too much. I find a lot of it is, it's AI content all looks the same, kind of, and they're all working on the average person. The problem is,
That's true.
Average people don't stand out. And, for us, I'm a big believer in, shout from the roof when you want to make a point, or you got to be different.
Yes.
In today's business climate, everybody has access to pretty good talent. Everybody's got access. I mean, most people actually, financial access now has gotten a lot easier. Where I see the difference in success and failure now is harnessing creativity. And that's what we try to do. That's my goal with Secure. At the end of the day, the only reason I'm beating my competitors is because I'm more creative than they are. That's the name of the game. So everything that we do with our people, I'm looking at AI, is how do you get more creativity? The problem with AI is it takes all your creativity and gives you a result that looks like everybody else's.
Yes.
So I quite often will create content with AI, load it up into Final Cut Pro, which is a video editing software tool, and we go back in, and then now we will punch it and we'll make changes to it to make it more human. Sometimes mistakes, not big mistakes, but subtle cues and things you do is like, you know it's real, because people don't want to listen to an AI person. They just don't. And there's a point where we won't tell the difference. We're probably 6 months to a year where kids who are scrolling, doom scrolling on their phones on whatever Instagram and stuff.
Yes.
When all of a sudden one day we all wake up and nobody knows if what they're looking at is real or not. Nobody knows. Does it all stop? Do people stop spending hours on their phone, wasting time? I don't know. It's we'll see.
That's a great point, though. I mean, because the apps that we are using similar apps. The answers that we are getting, similar answers coming from similar databases, similar data set. So it feels like the movie Matrix. So you wake up, it's hard to tell whether it's real or not.
What I'm looking at, because we're really ramping up our ad spend, our marketing efforts. I want to scale this company very quickly in the next 2 to 3 years, because I see that the AI impact could be, right now, digital marketing, if you do it right, is very affordable, and you get incredible results, and you get incredible data tracking. So you can do so much with it. Once AI makes it so anybody can create really high-end content all the time, the whole landscape changes. And now, how do I market my product when right now I can, through creativity, through goofiness, lighthearted, all the things that we do so our brand personality comes out, that could all be gone in a year or 2 years in terms of ability to talk to people. Again, when nobody trusts anything that they look at, well, you can't market in those channels anymore. So now what do? We go back to billboards? I mean, I don't know yet. I'm not sure where it's going.
Yes, yes, something is gonna happen. There is gonna be a shift.
Yeah.
And to your point also, so we also use TikTok in our podcast, but not that much. Our main flagship is YouTube, followed by Spotify and Amazon Music for the audio. But we do exist in TikTok. Anyway, so one of my colleagues, I was at a trade show last week, and I had that conversation. So he told me he used TikTok, and I was like, okay, that's good. How you like it? And he's like, I post videos every single day. So I was like, that's great. How'd you do it? Like, do you just record it every day, or you make one video, you slice it, dice it? He's like, no, TikTok is it's doing for me. So gets his image, gets the content, and creates videos every day, and he show it to me. He's talking to me on the on the TikTok.
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't record this. TikTok makes it for me. So imagine this. I'm like, I was so surprised, but it's real. Like, this is right now what we have.
It's.
If he didn't tell me, I wouldn't know. It was just made up. I mean, just made up by TikTok based on the content. So who knew?
Again, the millions of videos that are being created right now, and it's all nonsense, isn't it? It's not. I don't know.
Times are changing. Times are changing. These are big changes, really. Because we have seen the past. Because we have seen the business with no screens, literally just face to face only, like just one-on-one business. From there to here, with digital marketing was already a revolution.
Yeah.
Now we are going to a point that there will be no need for a human. That's where it's going in terms of direction. It won't be just tomorrow, but that's the direction.
It is the other side to AI, where I find AI can be really beneficial is strategy. And a lot of people are using it right now for funny, they're making their visuals, graphics and stuff, but I've got pretty deep with Grok and with GPT and a couple other tools, where really digging into strategy to target specific types of buyers. And I'm really impressed with the results I get. It's got me thinking in ways that I wouldn't have thought, or it's giving me a layout, a plan, or I'm using it to create a plan that 3 years ago I would have spent $200,000 to $300,000 on an ad agency to help me with a branding and marketing plan. And if you're working the ad industry right now, boy, that's going to be your future's not. It's got to be scary, because we don't spend any money on this stuff. And I used to spend quite a bit of money on all sorts of outside agency work, and we've canceled all of it. We brought everything back in-house. Now we have a studio. I've got a photo studio, video studio. So, as I always tell people, and we're direct to consumer, web-based company. So we don't sell gun racks. We sell really cool photographs of gun racks. I mean, that's how we represent the product.
Yes, utilizing all the tools.
Yeah, you're doing it in the firearms industry. We deal with things that others don't deal with. Like, I can't post really on TikTok because they just flag me as breaking their rules because I've got guns in gun safes. Facebook and Instagram, we're allowed to post. We do things, but I get ads that get flagged all the time. And they say, nope, you can't run that ad. And they're AI tools that are flagging me. It's hard to once I get a person and I say, look, review this. We're locking up guns. They're like, oh, I see it. Yeah, you're fine. Go. But it's not getting easier. And so if I was in a different industry, we could do a lot more. But right now we operate in the sandbox that we're in, but our hands are tied for as outrageous as I'd like to be. I just can't do it.
I like to shift our conversation towards role models and mentors.
Okay.
Have you had any role models, any mentors in your career journey?
I've had nothing but role models and mentors in my, I was a musician. I took a job telemarketing because I needed money. I had to pay my rent. I had to feed myself. I was horrible at it. But the sales manager at that time, he saw how hard I worked, but he moved me to a non-sales position. But he also pulled me aside and he gave me a book. I think it was called The Magic of Thinking Big. He goes, read this. It was the first book that talked about spending time to improve yourself and improve your capabilities and things you can do to always, because I always focus on just practicing as a musician. And now I was looking at a lot of other things. And that book really started me on the path of self-development. I quit that job, worked for another company for a guy who just taught me how to sell. Then I ran Securit, and I got to a point with Securit, we grew very quickly to 5 million in sales. And we sat there for several years. I looked back, my previous business, Green Line Data, shot up to 5 million and sat there. My first business, Jet Computer Products, went up to 4.5 million and sat there. And all of a sudden I realized every company I've ever run is a $5 million company. It has to be me. So I said, I've got to change. I'm doing something, I'm missing something. So I actually hired a gentleman that ran a company that was a supplier of mine, had sold his business. I reached out to him and I hired him for 2 years contract to come in as my number 2, COO in the company. But his job was teach me how to be a CEO, because obviously I'm missing something. And I joined Vistage, which is a CEO peer group, and really immersed myself in this world of what is a leader? Because I was a salesman. That's what I was. I was a really good salesman. I was a horrible leader. And as a salesman, you manage a company, you max out at 5 million. That's just, you're hiring people to help you, but you're basically doing everything. And working with Frank, he'd be like, Tom, stop, delegate that. And he was really good. He was a hard ass, but he was really good with me. And between that, with Vistage, and really digging into leadership, and just delegating everything I did. I had a big sign on my wall saying, what are you doing that should be delegating? Every time I start doing something, I delegate. The first thought was, I'll have nothing to do. What happens is you start thinking at a higher level. And all of a sudden I'm working on bigger, that I'm working on the business, not in the business. And we start thinking longer term strategies. And all of a sudden it's just the creativity from not being mired down with a lot of day-to-day busy work goes through the roof. So, for anybody starting off in business, don't do it alone. There's so many people that'll help you. All you got to do is ask. And I've never had an issue walking in to people and just saying, I love what you're doing. Any advice you can give me, I'm trying, just most people, when you ask, will open up and share all sorts of information with you.
If there is one key career lesson that you learned the hard way, what would it be that you can share with our audience?
Boy, learn the hard way. There's two. When things are going south, react quickly. Don't wait. When sequestration hit, we went 5 months without getting a single order, a single sale of any kind. And I waited too long to lay people off, to really cut back. And we burned through a lot of cash, and really, I got to a point where we were selling our house, and we're going to buy a tiny little farmhouse. I had 3 kids at the time, and it was stressful, but wasn't too bad. So react quickly, and then the other one I recommend to everybody, regardless of who you are, what you do, join Toastmasters for a while. Get good. You might not be nervous at public speaking, but get good at it. If you're already good at it, that's great, but most people aren't. And I found that I was never nervous about it, but I wasn't good at it. And I had some pretty big presentations I was looking at and some opportunities to speak. I joined Toastmasters down the street, a group once a week. And I kind of thought it was silly at first, but it was a huge impact on me to be able to stand in front of a crowd now and actually think creatively while I'm speaking, as opposed to thinking, okay, this is a speech I have to deliver, instead of being caught up in the process of speaking, I would just kind of relax, convey my message with my brain really working about how do I really put on a show for these guys? How do I really wow these guys?
What are your biggest interests and passions outside of work?
Well, I play guitar. I'm back to playing. I don't play professionally. I do some, fingerstyle jazz. I'll go down to the local coffee shop at Christmas and play Christmas tunes. But history, automotive history, my therapy, I restore cars. I do about one car every 3 years. My warehouse for the business, we now have remote warehouses. So I have about 7,000 square feet of warehouse space with 2 lifts. Right now I'm building a 66 Ford Falcon. I did a Corvette. I've got a Ferrari Mondial that's like in perfect condition. So I do vintage cars, and I'm also an auto racer. So I'm looking right now at getting back into racing, vintage racing. We built a land speed car, and this past August, I was out at Bonneville for Speed Week, and we set a new Class J land speed record in a tiny little car with a tiny little engine. We went 171 miles an hour. The class record was 111, and we just crushed it. But so my passions are music. I like vintage automotive and automotive history. I've got a couple of very rare cars that I found and have restored, and they're not valuable, but it's an amazing history. And we just got invited to Detroit Autorama to do a presentation with the 2 cars. I've been to a lot of very high-end, concourse type shows because of the history. And I'm just trying to, my wife and I were just trying to preserve this history and make people aware that there was this whole history happened in the 50s and 60s, and most people forgot about it.
If you had a chance to go back history, personally or historically, to what time period would you like to go back and why?
It's interesting. Yeah. There's so many neat things. And when you look back, I'd probably look at the 60s. The music was great. The cars were great. Get back into racing cars back then when they were running the Mustangs. And there was also, though, that was a time of a lot of turmoil in the world. But I think that'd probably be my go-to. It'd be mid-60s. Now, if I knew what I knew now and went back, oh, that'd be incredible.
Yes, one of our guests mentioned about Bitcoin. If I knew Bitcoin would be that high in the past, I will just
I
play it all over the place.
I let others deal with that one. I wouldn't touch a Bitcoin. When I have extra money, I buy land.
Yep. Well, you mentioned one thing earlier. If we can dive deeper a little bit, if that's okay. You mentioned about sales. So sales is a little interesting, right? So we get education from school about business, about strategy, about budget, about marketing as a science. But there is no formal education for sales, really. So we learn it somehow, somewhere, courses or mentors. Can you describe fundamentals of sales to be successful in the practice?
It's sales always, for me, it comes down to confidence or perceived confidence. You can be nervous as all get out, but you're putting on a presentation like you know what you're talking about. But it's a lot. There's no magic. You got to get in your 10,000 reps. You got to get in your hours. And the thing with sales and so much in life is embrace the failure. We're in a world now where kids aren't allowed to fail. My kids played soccer when they were really little. Oh, we don't keep score. Oh, why not? Well, we don't. Kids don't want to lose. So the kids on the field are keeping score. They know what the score. And it's just this world of like, we don't want anybody to lose. I'm sorry, that's stupid. Every big win I've had in business, I've done very well in business. All my big wins are because of my losses. It's the screw ups. That's where you learn. And the bigger the screw up, I've had some $1 million screw ups that have been huge hits. And you know what? You don't beat yourself up too much. You just say, what did we learn? Okay, what are we going to do differently? How will we anticipate this? Boom, let's move on. Within my company, the whole operating of this company is fail fast. move quickly, fail fast. If something's failing, make a decision. If you're driving down the road and you come to a fork in the road, you have three options: go right, go left, or stop and think about it. The guy that stops will always be in last place. One guy's going to go right, one guy's going to go the other way, and if he finds out he's going wrong, he's going to course correct. The guy that stops and thinks about it is dead in the water. So it's don't be afraid to fail. Embrace it. Learn from it. Really dig into it. And then once you've got this is what happened, this is how we avoid it, move forward, turn around, face forward, and just keep going.
How to stay motivated and inspired in times of challenges and hardship?
It's interesting because I've been through a lot of very difficult times. We're not going to go all in, but I've had some ups and downs, and I've had many people comment saying, we thought you'd be in cardiac arrest, or the tariffs came in with China. I was manufacturing the bulk of my products in China, which could have killed us. But I'm a big believer. Do not focus any energy on things you cannot control. Be aware of them. Understand the impact on what you're doing. But if you can't control it, don't stay up late at night thinking about it. Focus on what you have and what you can do. And the tariffs is a great example. The tariffs hit, all of a sudden our core products were going to cost 2.5 times as much, meaning we could not, there's no way we could sell these things. That's the bulk of our business. So instead of just freaking out about it, we just came and said, what do we have? Well, I've got injection molding in the US. I've got these products that we made years ago to convert our competitors' gun safes to our systems. We never really did anything with it. I said, let's reinvent it. It took us 10 days of work, and we launched a whole line of gun safe conversion kits to upgrade our competitors' safes to our systems. All US made, very, very high margin. It's not a high volume sale, but we launched it, and it's now a pretty big staple part of our business. We've worked out the tariffs, we've moved our manufacturing, so we're back in normal business, but you got to focus on what you can control, and you'll drive yourself nuts if you're thinking about or worrying about things you can't control. That's what drives people nuts, and don't do it. It's just a trap.
What is your career advice for the next generation business professionals, especially those who are just entering into the job market?
I'm a big believer in jump off the cliff. So many people have ideas for businesses and they never start them. Or they're unsure. If you're unsure, jump. I always tell jump off the cliff. On the way down, you will see a place to land. But and also don't be afraid to put your back against the wall. Our greatest things that we've done as a company, my greatest inventions, I have 7 patents, and some of the best things that I've come up with were because my back was against the wall, and I didn't have a backstop. I didn't have a cushion. I didn't have a government coming in and say, "Oh, you're struggling. Here's some grant money." No, we were against the wall. But when you get to those points, though, you just dig in and say, "What can we do? What can we do to be in?" Don't be afraid to be different. Everybody, when you're in school, the pressure is to conform. The minute you're out in business, if you're going to be a conformist in business, you're going to run an average company and have average sales and do average stuff. It's, just be bold and get out there with something.
For those who like to continue this conversation, for them to learn more about your company and get in touch with you, what is the best way that they can learn about your company?
If you Google search my name or Secure It, we're all over. We're just all over the internet. And either Secure It comes up with the business. I've got a pretty big profile online. And if people want to reach out, I am reachable. And at one point I tried to be the most accessible CEO, and I had a cell phone that we published the number saying, you got a problem with the product, call the owner. And did that for a while. I'm not doing that right now. My travel just got so much, but I'm easy to find.
Tom, thank you so much for being with us in your busy schedule. I truly appreciate your time. Thank you for sharing your professional insights and your professional wisdom with us today.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a good conversation. I hope people can can get some value out of it.
Absolutely. I have no doubt about it. And I'm looking forward to being in touch with you. And I wish you a great weekend.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Great meeting you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Well, to our audience and to our listeners, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. It was actually very informative. We learned new things, new ideas, and more importantly, we learned from Tom's experience, which is very precious, very important. And also, as I always say, in the American Business Podcast episodes, you learn at least one thing that you never seen, you never heard before. And this one was full of it. It was great. A lot of new subjects that we covered today, and Toastmasters, one of them, for example, as well as learning how to use AI, prompting, how to prompt it. That was also a great insight in that sense. Also, being bold when we are making decisions and designing our career path was another thing that I have in my mind. I'm sure you'll learn some other things that's important for you. And we record these episodes and we make it available on YouTube as well as on Spotify and Amazon Music, so you can keep listening, watching, and make sure you understand all the details and you learn something new. And that is for the continuous improvement as professionals. That's what we need to be doing. Keep learning, keep improving, and doing it continuously. So that's our goal, and that's how we designed the American Business Podcast. If you'd like to be on the podcast, please send us an email. You can be our guest. We can have a conversation. We'd love to learn from you as a professional, as an expert. And you can send us an email, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to advertise, sponsor the American Business Podcast, you can also send us an email, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. We are getting new sponsors, new supporters. We truly appreciate it. And if you'd like to introduce your company, your products and services, that's a great podcast for you to partner with. And we are looking forward to hearing from you. American Business Podcast@gmail.com. Also, if you visit our website, americanpodcast.tv, you can also learn about our coming schedule. We publish and update our website on weekly basis, and you can get the latest about the American Business Podcast on our website. As you know, every month we put together online networking event, and it's called the Connectional America Business Alliance. And the next one for this month is scheduled for next Friday. If you haven't done so, consider registering. We have limited seating available. On the Connectional America Business Alliance, you'll be able to meet with other business professionals. That's a great online networking opportunity. At the same time, you'll be live on the American Business Podcast in front of thousands of the American Business Podcast subscribers, viewers, and audience. So that's a great opportunity for you to promote your business. For that, I have the QR code on the screen. Please scan the QR code. It'll take you to our registration page and you can sign up and join us. I hope you can make it. We have limited seating. We are almost sold out. And today is a great day to sign up for the Connectional America Online Business Networking event. Let's talk about our sponsors. We truly appreciate their support. If you are in a regulated environment and if you like to recycle your laptop, your electronics, your data, consider Pupfish USA Sustainability Solutions. I've been to their secure environment. That's a great company, great people that you can work with. They wipe out all of your laptops, all of your desktop information, everything that you have, and they destruct any electronics that you like to get rid of. They recycle it afterwards. So they have a really meticulous system, and they document all these activities, and they send you a certificate. I have the QR code on the screen. You can scan it and you can get in touch with them. Make sure you mention that you heard about them on the American Business Podcast. If you are interested in learning about Excel and other Microsoft Business Software products, consider Ms. Excel. They have a fun and engaging way of teaching software products. I have their QR code on the screen. When you scan the QR code, it'll take you to their website. You can pick the courses that you like. Before you check out, make sure to use the discount code ABP2025. And you'll get the discount and you'll enjoy the course. If you are interested in building your team, building bonding within your team, consider SpotCorp Events. They put together events and organizations to help you build your team and team spirit. That's their expertise. That's a great company that you can trust. I have their QR code on the screen. And there is a code also ABP that you can get in touch with them, and they'll listen to you, learn about your company, and come up with an idea of putting together an event for team building and team bonding. I have the QR code on the screen. Feel free to scan it and learn about the organization and get in touch with them. If you are in the market for an ERP software system, ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning, consider iTech Inc. They specialize in SAP ERP and Oracle ERP software solutions, and they offer implementation, configuration, support, and training services. They are specialized in these services, and I have their QR code on the screen. When you scan the QR code, it'll take you to their website. You can learn more about the organization, and you can get in touch with them. And make sure you mention that you heard about them from the American Business Podcast. Great, that's it for today. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Today is our 101st episode, so we passed our 100th goal, and we are going for 200. That's our new goal, and we're gonna reach it hopefully soon. I'll let you know how is our goal and when we schedule it for in terms of pacing 200, and I'm gonna keep you posted. Thank you very much for being with us. We appreciate your support. The American Business Podcast is the voice of American business. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening. Have a great weekend.